I am back with another story from the 60 Great Women enshrined in Islamic history, and today we will be talking about the wife of Musa Islam. Um, Now, we have to backtrack um, basically on how they met and everything. So, this was a time where he had accidentally killed an Egyptian man who was quarreling with a man from Banu Israel while living in Egypt. An order was to kill was issued against him by the Pharaoh. So he ended up fleeing from there with no clear route of where he wanted, with the exception of guidance from Allah. He eventually reached Madian, located on the Red Sea directly across from Egypt, near the present day of Tabuk in Saudi Arabia. There, at the water well, he saw a bunch of herders there, flocking, watering their flock, and two women standing further off. And Musa Islam noticed that the women were moving restlessly, trying to keep the flock away from the water. He was amazed and a little concerned. Um, to not mix closely with the male herders, Musa Islam approached the two women and asked about the behavior, to which they responded that they're not used to mixing with men, and the father was an old man who could no longer water the flock himself. So, with their permission, he decided to flock through the crowd to the water. They went back to the father, told him about this foreign man and the story, and the father wanted to wish to reward the stranger for goodness and sent back one of his daughters to invite to their home. In a hadith, um, it was the younger of the two sisters that approached Prophet Musa Islam, and uh, and she said, "Truly, my father calls for you to recompense you with a reward for watering our flocks." When the two prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala met, Musa Islam informed Shuaib Islam of this even in Egypt and the reason for his fleeing. And when he heard the story, the younger daughter saw the virtue in the stranger and suggested to her father that he hired the young man. He did agree and not only offered Musa Islam to work, but also his youngest daughter's hand in marriage. The dowry would be 8 years of service to the family in Madian. And Shoaib Islam continued to say that should Musa Islam wish to complete the time to 10 years, then that is of his own goodwill, and promised him nothing less than a noble companionship and honorable treatment. Musa Islam agreed to offer and indeed married the younger of Shuaib's Islam's two daughters and lived with her family for the next 10 years. And during the time frame of their marriage, they were granted children during the stay in Midian. After the 10 years, upon were over, Musa Islam and his family headed back to Egypt.